Welcome back to this Moneycontrol live stream. You're watching Closing Bell with me, Nandita, Khemka, and my colleague is back.
Hello there, I am Yatin Mota.
Well, Yatin, a good day to come back, given the fact that we did hit a fresh high, a fresh all-time high on the index today, 25,482. So we came very close to that 25,500 mark. But of course, we saw consolidation kick in, and there is a fair bit of caution ahead of the crucial Fed decision. Of course, that will come out later tonight. So we saw fresh highs, but we saw the Nifty and the entire market, in fact, take a U-turn around midday. So the Nifty actually ended pretty flat if you compare it with yesterday's close, but from the day's high, it came off pretty significantly. The broader end of the markets continued to underperform today. So the mid-cap index was down somewhere around 0.7%, underperformed. And of course, IT was the big drag today. That index was down 3%. Yesterday, the IT index had hit a fresh high, Yatin, and today, profit booking kicking in. And of course, there is news flow around what Accenture is doing with regards to their promotions, etc. So that also came as a dampener. And there is a fair bit of caution ahead of the Fed decision as well. So the IT index saw its biggest single-day drop since August 5th. But aside of that, what was actually shining bright today was the entire financial basket. So Nifty Bank Index, gained 1%. In fact, I think it's just about 550 points short of its record levels, right? So all the private banking names were doing well. ICICI Bank market cap crossed that 9 lakh crore rupee mark for the first time. And in terms of other gainers, most of them were from the financial space. So you talk about Shriram Finance, Bajaj Twins that came under profit taking, during Bajaj Housing's listing. Those stocks, Bajaj Finance and Finserv, managed to make a good comeback. ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank were doing well, and so was Nestle from the FMCG pack. The losers list was, of course, dominated by IT names like TCS, Tech Mahindra, Infosys, all of these stocks losing 3 to 4% apiece, Yatin. And Tata Consumer and Sun Pharma were some of the other laggards. But, if you look at the broader end of the markets, Yatin, chemical stocks were quite active today, right?
So, there is, fair bit of chance that we could see some, second half recovery for chemical stocks. But if you talk about the broader end of the markets, BSE, that stock moved 17% higher. No specific news, but yes, the talk of, NSE's IPO has probably widened the scope for exchange stocks and the valuations enforced. Probably the reason why BSE was higher. Graphite and HEG, both of these stocks are doing well in trade because one of the global graphite players has increased prices by nearly 20%, and that's auguring well for both graphite and HEG. Torrent Power as well as Alkyl Amine, these are the two stocks which have moved quite well in trade today. What was not doing well is the IT pack, and stocks like OFS is down 8%, Blue Dot down 7%, GM Finance down 5%, Triveni Engineering down 4%. So the broader in the market, wherein we have seen some good short-term run-ups, have witnessing some bit of profit taking ahead of the Federal Reserve meet, because usually the traders and big HNIs want their trading position trimmed. So typical phenomenon in the marketplace, but yes, stocks like BSE, Torrent Pharma, Bikaji, Concord Bio, Radico, IEX, MCX, all of these stocks hitting fresh 52-week highs.
Well, even though the broader markets were underperforming, there were quite a few movers when it comes to the Nifty 500 index and other mid-cap stocks. But let's focus in on the stocks that are on our radar this afternoon, starting with Bajaj Auto. Yesterday the stock hit a fresh 52-week high. I think today some bit of profit taking, and of course there is this note from CLSA where they have reiterated a target price of 7,000 rupees, which is like a 40% downside from yesterday's close price. So that I think got the street a bit iffy or cautious, to say the least. Of course, Bajaj has been in focus because it has made some new launches along with Triumph. Yesterday, it has launched two motorcycles, Speed T4 as well as MY25 Speed 400. Now, Speed 400 is the actual basis for the Triumph brand. Now, these are being positioned as entry-level motorcycles. And CLSA says that Speed T4 actually hits the right spot with segment-leading performance, power specifications, as well as attractive entry price of 2.17 lakh rupees. Now, Triumph, in fact, has Bajaj Auto rather has delivered 60,000 Triumph motorcycles in FY24 alone. And this new launch from the Bajaj and Triumph stable is very promising according to CLSA, but they are worried about the increasing competitive intensity in the premium bike segment. Of course, we have Hero Harley, we have Eicher, Enfield as well. So the competition per se has been intensifying, and there has been a war, so to say, for market share as well in this premium bike segment. But there is caution over growth moderation in the over 250cc motorcycle segment, according to CLSA. And the continued pressure that the company sees in the export market is also one of the reasons why it has not budged when it comes to the target price on Bajaj Auto. But management had recently pointed out that there is some bit of green shoot or recovery in the export market, particularly in the Nigerian market, where the retail sales had crossed the 2,000 unit level after a while, and they are expecting it to improve here on. And if you look at the stock performance, I mean, of course, auto as a whole has been doing well, particularly the two-wheeler pack, because if you look at the Bajaj Auto stock price over the last 1 year, it has given returns of 1.2 times, 127% returns, over returns over the last 1 year. Of course, the stock is also trading higher compared to its buyback price of 10,000 rupees. And 45 analysts are covering the stock, but out of them, 22 still have a buy rating. And stock, of course, has been doing well in the last 1 month as well. It has gained somewhere around 20% or thereabouts. But of course, how really this export market, recovery in export market really pans out, maybe a key thing to watch out for when it comes to Bajaj Auto. But for now, CLSA has a 7,000 rupee target on Bajaj Auto.
But I think, Bajaj Auto, one thing for sure, that the kind of wealth the company has created, plus the kind of cash balances that they have, I think gradually the electric vehicle segment for Bajaj Auto also should ramp up. So don't underestimate, the power of Bajaj Auto, because they have been, doing well in terms of launching new models. They understand marketing. So with due respect, Bajaj Auto on your screens, moving higher in trade, 1 month returns of nearly 20%. But what was nervous in trade today was IT index. Nandita already said that one of the biggest falls that we have seen since 3rd of August, 3% down for that index. And the most important point is that ahead of the Federal Reserve meeting, we had some unwinding in the futures position as well. Soon we have the results from Accenture. I think if I remember correctly, 20th September is when Accenture announces the numbers, which is probably month end. And yesterday the stock of Accenture also was down 5% because they have kept the promotions on hold for a few set of employees, probably signaling the market that the company is seriously looking at cutting cost, or probably not comfortable with the current business environment. Now LTIMindtree also spoke with Citi. The analyst note has come out, in which LTIMindtree believes that there is no material change in Q2 versus Q1 in terms of order intakes. It typically is slow environment, no big green shoot seen. Obviously the managements are hoping that H2 will be better, but yes, there are still some signs of slowdown. Clients not able to make decisions. In fact, the clients are focusing on orders which have cost optimization verticals or outcomes. So no big discretionary pickup is happening. That discretionary spend part remains slightly slower. And probably the market ahead of the Federal Reserve meeting, plus the kind of signaling which is done by managements of LTIMindtree or Accenture, saw some nervousness today. But mind you, from last quarter till today, which is from June to September, IT index is higher by nearly 20%. So 3% cut probably is kind of profit taking, no major downside. But yes, after the run up, I think IT stocks are cooling down in trade today, Nandita.
That's true, Yatin. And in terms of the Federal Reserve meeting as well, street is divided. There is an air of mystery as to whether it will be a 25 basis point or a 50 basis point. On one hand, you would feel that 50 basis point would bring cheer to the market, but a section of the market experts that I have spoken to are a little divided on that, because they say that the ideal scenario would be a 25 basis point rate cut and the dot plot signaling a dovish stance with respect to future rate cuts. Because if there's a 50 basis point rate cut, there would be concerns around a US recession, and that may not bode well, especially for IT stocks, which we did see correcting today. But the other stock on my list is from the pharma pack, Emcure Pharma, a recent listing. July is when it listed. The stock has done well ever since. But Kotak Institutional has initiated coverage on the stock with a buy rating, or add rating rather. Target price is at 1655 rupees, which implies a potential 11% upside from yesterday's close price. Now, Emcure, according to Kotak Institutional, is one of those few Indian pharma companies that have no direct exposure to US generics. And this means that there will be greater earnings visibility for the company. Now, the company has already built a complex product portfolio across India, Canada, Europe, as well as some emerging markets. And, looking at the expectations in terms of its sales growth, Kotak Institutional believes that it could see a 14% sales CAGR, compounded annual growth rate, over FY24 to FY27, and these would be led by a few factors like healthy organic growth, in-licensing deal with Sophie. Also, it had recently acquired Mantra Pharma in Canada.
Yeah.
So the consolidation of that, that has taken place, and with most of the legal challenges now behind for the company, it is expected to do well in terms of sales growth. And on a low base as well, it expects improved productivity post the field force addition of 20% since FY22. Now, field force automation is a technology-driven solution that automates field-related operations and processes and making them more efficient and effective. So, in that sense, productivity is expected to improve according to Kotak Institutional. There are, chances of higher capacity utilization in the newer facilities of Emcure as well. And that could lead to robust 19% and 30% CAGRs for EBITDA as well as EPS, respectively, over FY24 to FY27. And now, last month, Jefferies had also initiated coverage on Emcure, Yatin, with a target price of 1600 rupees and a buy rating. Stock is actually up 50% from its issue price. So, Emcure Pharma, things looking good, especially the fact that, it does not have a direct exposure to US where, of course, there are issues and, Dr. Reddy's and other companies which have higher exposure, they have some bit of risk factor there, but Emcure clearly doesn't have that.
And the kind of reports which are coming in on these newer IPO companies, I think have an impact. Today, I think in the morning the stock was higher by nearly 4-5%. Cooled off at the end of the day because the markets came down, but good going for the entire pharma pack till now.
All right, I think the good news today was the fact that Bank Nifty held out pretty smartly, and that to 1% higher on weekly expiry days. So a lot of experts have been pointing out that Bank Nifty has been able to sustain its gains this time around. So who knows, Bank Nifty could also make a dash at its all-time highs. But with that, of course, we've come to the end of Closing Bell. All important Fed decision later tonight, and we will be getting you global voices in the morning on Opening Bell. So don't forget to tune in. But for now, it's a goodbye from me and Yatin. Thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned to Moneycontrol for all your other news and updates.